has picked out some glass he thinks he's interested in. So now it falls to him to have a little play and see where he wants his colour to go. Do you want any pastels to do any shading, or do you think you can just do it by eye?
Yeah, I think I can do it by eye, yeah.
Okay.
I think that would be really nice. There. That one.
Yes.
And is it also convenient if you find a piece of glass that has already got a slight curve on it? Does that... I suppose it's not...
Every now and again,
exactly,
a piece you pick up will have a sympathetic shape to what you're cutting. But you'll always have to cut to some extent.
Suppose it would be... Do I want to have orange in the main body of the fish, or do I want to have... and then red as the ribbons?
Well, the ribbons, once you've got the lead in place, you will only see the tiniest amount of that. So that's what you need to factor in.
Yeah, so do I have
what do you want to dominate? Actually, any colour that you put in here, you'll see so little of it. Won't be the main part. It won't be the main thing your eye is going to see.
That's a shame. That is a shame because the lead will be bigger than that, will it?
Yeah.
So is there
let me
a way...
give you a piece of the lead and then you can see. So I reckon you're a good cutter, so we'll use 6mm. So it'll be like that.
Oh, okay.
And I'll get the...
And can I place it on the outside so that there is some more red there?
You mean you want to make it bigger?
Or do I have to change the design?
If you want to make it bigger, draw another line. That's the only way to do it. I'll get you a different coloured pen. Because you cut... So this piece you cut up to this side of the line.
Yeah.
This piece you cut up to this side of the line.
Right.
So you can't cut both pieces up to the same side of the line. You need 2 mm in between. Right, so do you want to start cutting your glass?
Sure.
Alright, so let's talk about cutting art glass. It's got all sorts of sort of seams and bubbles and things in it, which make it more challenging to cut than just float glass, which is the glass that's in our windows. I tend to just put my glass on the pattern and cut.
Right.
But beginners probably should draw through, draw the pattern onto the glass, because then they can move this about.
With Sharpie?
With a Sharpie. I would also just take a line across here and here, because these you can't cut in one piece. You possibly could cut that in one piece. It is possible but difficult, so we'll try it. Okay, so line it up the way you want it with the pattern. Make sure you've got the smooth side, not the rough side, because cutting on the rough side just adds more problems.
Sure.
I'll get you a ruler. When you're drawing this line, that is your cut line. So when you draw your felt tip, you have to make sure that the bulk of the is that the way you want the pattern to be, by the way? Do you want to line it up the way you want it? Is that about right?
I think that's fine. Okay. Yeah.
So you need to remember which side of the line you're cutting to. So you're going to cut to this side of the line. To this side of the line, and then that's a bit wide of the mark. Okay, and then you have to go over this line. As accurate as possible. Now, I will explain the principle of cutting. The harder the cut, this isn't a very hard cut, it's a very shallow curve. If this was a very difficult cut, you would definitely want to do this cut first, because you have all this weight of glass behind it which will keep it secure. Let's say you did this cut first and this cut first. When you went to do this cut, you may find it snaps here because you only have a very thin piece of glass left there, and the same there. So when you're cutting a shape off a piece of glass, always cut the most vulnerable piece while it's all still intact. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Great.
you have to cut on the inside of the line because this is your heart of lead.
Sure.
Okay.
Cool.
Now, let me just say another principle before you start. Eye up your line. If you start here, you're going to go whoa sideways. So try and get it as sort of forwards to back as you can. I mean, some curves, they will turn a corner and you just have to be a little bit limber. But that's the principle you want to follow. And sometimes I even do a sort of pretend run to see if I can get round in one go.
Right. How would I do that?
Oh, just miming.
Right, okay.
Like a little movement.
Like that.
Ooh, nice. Right.
Sure.
So, when you approach a tricky cut, and this isn't a particularly tricky cut, but let's say it was, the principle to follow is do that cut first while the rest of the piece is still attached to this piece of glass. If you were to take this cut across here first, and this one down here, then when you went to do this, you're in danger of losing this end because it's thin and therefore it's weak and it's vulnerable. So always do the most difficult piece while it's still attached to the glass. And then when you do go to do your cut, try and have it lined up forward to back as much as possible. If you were to do it like that, you would find as you went round the corner that you're very awkward in your kind of movement. Likewise like that. So try and like that for me would be the most comfortable way, I think. I've got a bit more movement in this direction than I have in that direction, so I would probably line it up like that before I did the cut. This is such a shallow arc that I would do it in one go, because I'll cover this technique, the technique for cutting very deep curves later on, but when you do a deep curve, you have to do a series of shallow curves building up to the deep curve. But this is just a shallow curve, so it can be done in one go. There you go. Do you want to?
Sure. Alright, so I'm going on the inside of this.
On the inside
line
of the line, yeah.
Cool. Starting from here?
Yep. Good.
That was good.
Yeah.
And then should I snap it?
You should just be able to snap it.
Yeah. Wow. That was really satisfying.
Yeah. Good job.
And then there?
Yes.
This one or that one?
Well, in terms of...
oh, well, it would have to be this one, wouldn't it? Because that one there...
Well, if you did this one, you'd have to take it all the way down, and then it's a bit more wasteful of glass.
Yeah.
So, just from economy. Now, I would use a ruler.
Great.
When you line it up, of course, the grinding wheel's in the middle,
So it has to be...
you have to account for that when you place. And you can lean forward and look at the grinding wheel and see if it's in the right place before you start.
Yeah. Ah. So
But
it wasn't
do you
quite
know what?
straight there.
That's okay.
You sure?
That's okay.
Yeah?
We can live with that. That's an outside edge piece, and that lead is 12mm thick, so
That's
it
good.
will cover any little gaps.
Great. It's got a slightly different quality to it, this glass.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'm going to try and do that more straight this time. On the inside.
Inside, yeah.
So...
Hang on a sec
There
and
it is.
turn your cutter the other way up. That's it.
Great.
Okay.
Can I just crack on?
Yes, you can.
Great.
So let me just take you through it. What you should do is, so let's pretend this is the cutter. Start here. This is all easy going.
Yeah.
Easy. And then just because this is a slight sort of, I would go like this and then like
Okay,
that.
sure.
And then you can approach this piece separately.
Sure.
If I was doing it, I would do it all in one go and come off like that.
Okay.
If you feel you can do that, you do that.
Okay.
Can
Maybe
I just
I'll
get to
decide.
my coffee before you
Yeah,
start?
sure.
Thank you very much.
I'll decide when I get to that point. Whoops.
How it's going.
Okay. I think I'm just going to go for it.
Okay. Yay.
Comme ça.
Yay.
How's that? That's alright, isn't it?
It's alright, yeah.
And then, would you just do this by
I
hand?
might do a bit of tapping on that one. A little bit of tapping.
Is that because of the glass or the
Well,
shape?
just to make sure that it doesn't just snap off there.
Right.
Just to take the cut all the way to the
Ah,
end.
yeah. Wow.
Hey.
Great.
Oh,
That's a really nice shape.
you're
as well.
doing so well. Yeah, it's a very
Just
nice
a really,
shape.
really quick one on the inside there. Ah,
That's all right.
shit.
No, it's fine.
Excuse my language.
No, it's fine. We'll cover it up with solder.
Cool.
It won't show at all.
Great.
You're probably pressing too hard.
Am I?
Yeah, because this bit of glass here is so thin, it's fragile.
Yeah.
And actually, look, I almost do nothing.
Yeah.
Hang on. Can't even do almost nothing. Right, that was almost nothing. You
Yeah.
couldn't hear anything.
Yeah.
And yet it will break.
Yeah.
So when you have a very small bit, almost no pressure.
Okay, cool. Great.
And we will sweep. Sweep.
Fantastic. Where should we put the ones that I've done?
Well, this is where having 2 copies of your design is useful.
Yeah.
Because we don't have 2 copies of your design, what I suggest you do is start laying them out, pretend.
Cool.
And do write your number. And the other thing I do, just to save mistakes, is I put a line through the ones I've done, because sometimes I cut the same piece twice.
Sure.
Or sometimes I miss a piece out.
2.
Yeah.
Quite
Do you
nice to have some.
want to see how they look?
Yeah. It'd be nice to have some white, I think, actually, in the some clear.
Now, this is going to be an occasion when you're probably going to want to approach this cut with several shallow cuts. So the first thing you'd want to do, and we're going to do this difficult cut first before we cut the back off, which is the easy cut. We're going to line this straight edge up with this point and this point. That's the shallowest point, like that. And then we are going to draw our line. Now that will be the first score line you make, but you won't break it at that point. What you will do is a series of shallow cuts, getting you closer and closer to that score line. So your first line will be sort of like that, and then you'll do one like that, and then you'll do one like that,
Right.
and then you'll do one like that. Then, once you've got all your score lines, having started with your most important score line, we then start with the grozers nibbling these shallow cuts away. And the more you cut glass, the more you get a sense of how many of these shallow cuts you need as you approach your ideal cut. I would never draw these lines on normally. I would just intuitively know that they need to be spaced in that particular kind of way. So you don't need that because I've drawn it. Don't worry about this score line. We'll do that afterwards.
So I do this one first.
You do your ideal one first, cutting on the inside of the line.
Sure. Inside being this side.
This is the piece you want to keep.
Yeah.
So the inside of the line is the piece on the piece, not on the outside of the line.
Got it.
Lovely.
And then with these ones, presumably it doesn't matter whether it's on the inside or the outside, right?
It doesn't matter, but I would start here and work towards here.
Sure.
Don't worry about that. These are all sort of just construction cuts, really.
Yeah. Would that be enough?
Have you? Where's your
Done
closest
about
one?
3. That one there.
You
One
need
more?
definitely one between that and that.
Sure.
Lovely. Okay.
Brilliant.
Now I will show you the technique that we're going to use. It's quite a specific motion because you're not just going to lever to get these cuts done. You're doing a pull away and a slight movement downwards. It's quite a difficult thing to explain. So you see, when I came away with this piece, this is the direction I moved. It wasn't like that. And they will just crumble. This is horrible crumbly. Look at that. How dangerous is that? Horrible glass. So then you go up to the next line and you do the same thing. So would you like to do this yourself? Or would you like to see me do the whole thing?
Here, I'll go.
Okay.
Thank you. So it's like a kind of down and away.
Yes.
Is that right?
You're pulling away. Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah.
Ooh, wow.
Now, yeah. Where some of it is left on, just go up to that score line and remove that piece that's still there.
Like that?
Yeah.
And then?
Yeah, and there.
Wow, okay.
That's because your grozers were over the line, so it broke up to the next score line.
Right, okay.
That's why it's so important. The first line that you score is your ideal line, because then it can't break beyond that.
Right, okay.
Okay, so that's done. It's so horrible, this glass, because it leaves the nastiest little some people, they like, if you have I haven't got an offcut, but if you have an offcut of the same glass, you can sort of scratch them against each other to try and get rid of the horrible sticky out bits. Now, for this one, this is slim, it's vulnerable, I wouldn't attempt it in one go. Let's make it a bit easier, so you don't have that sticking into your belly. So I would go off there, and then I would do that piece. And this is very thin, so you're going to need to hold there once you've done your score line, and maybe use the grozers in that same action you used before. Okay.
So I'm going here and then to there?
Yeah.
And then there and using the grozers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Again on the inside.
Yes.
I'm worried about that snapping there.
Just concentrate on the thing you're doing. There's nothing much you can do about that.
And then straight?
Straight, yeah.
Okay. And then should I do this like that or with the... that?
Yeah, probably like that.
What do you
And
think? With it
you
tapping?
probably could have done with coming off here,
Yeah.
you know. No, I wouldn't tap it, that might break it. I would ease this away here.
Right.
And the reason I'm starting here
Yeah.
is this is the vulnerable bit. If we just break here, it may snap across there, which is, I'm going to do this because you might lose it.
Sure. Don't want to lose it.
No. It doesn't want to come. This is horrible glass. I'm trying to be really careful. I'm going to tap it. Didn't want to, but no, I don't want to tap it. It's going to break. I think I'm going to put an extra cut in. So, where's my brush? So I'm just going to take it off there in the hope that that will give it a place to break. Cool, it doesn't want to break. There, that's got it.
Oh, that was good.
And there, that's got it.
Cool.
So, I'm sorry to step in, but it just looked like...
That's all right.
You see, that is in danger of being in the way when we lead up. But again, it's quite vulnerable, so I'll leave it there, and if it becomes a problem when we lead up, then we'll deal with it.
Cool.
Cool. Oh yeah. See what you're saying. Ah. Now, how do I do that?
Right, so the best thing to do is hold it here
Yeah.
and... It's very hard. I think we might lose this tail, but we can probably cover it with lead.
Or could you make another cut in there?
Maybe. It's not generally what I would do, but yeah, we've lost it.
Oh.
But let me show you.
Would have that been covered by lead anyway?
Yeah.
I think.
So
I think it's
that
alright, isn't it?
that is going to be okay.
Cool.
That is going to be all right.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
And then these ones
Yeah.
from this side.
From that side, yeah. I'm not sure whether that's a convention, but that's certainly the way I always do it.
Right.
Should I rule here?
No, what I would do is I would start the external curve,
Yeah.
and when you get to the sort of hump,
Yeah.
take it off.
Okay.
Don't follow it. Just
Like that.
well, you could do it
Like
like
that?
more towards more like that.
Sure. Will that do?
Yes.
Cool.
And just take it right to the edge of the glass. Perfect.
And then
I would do the outside one edge first. No, the other outside one.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Great. And then that one?
Yep.
Just like that?
Yep.
Wow. That's brilliant.
Yeah, you're so good.
And then
So, can you see through it now?
just about, yeah.
I would turn it this way around, and I would start here and do that,
Yep.
and I'd start here and do that, and then I would snap them
Okay.
to do a bit of all those extra lines and nibbling up to it.